All right, so this is going to sound entirely silly, but as a huge fan of Boy Meets World, when I saw Boy Kills World, I was like, I don't care what that is. I need to check it out. And it didn't let down. So here we are, ready to jump into the review of the new film. And let's jump into that right now. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. Today, we're going to be reviewing the new film, Boy Kills World, coming to theaters April 26th. So, outside of my huge fandom for Boy Meets World, if you came in this properly, you would see that Sam Raimi is the producer of this film, and you're like, yes, because Sam Anything is a yes. It stars Bill Skarsgård, who is yes, in another notion as well too. Jessica Rothe, yes. So listen, that alone, by the title, by the trailer, by the graphics, by the animation, you're like, what in the world am I getting ready to get myself into? But I need it. It is, once again, from the producers of Evil Dead and Barbarian. This film was off the chain. I love this film, and I'm not going to go as far as saying like, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever seen. But from wall to wall, from beginning to end, I was thoroughly entertained. One, because Bill Skarsgård, I think, is 6'4". And, you know, he's done work in John Wick and a couple of other films. I don't want to look down the resumes and whatnot. But Bill really is a fantastic actor. A person who can really get into any genre and really make a character out of it. You know, some people are very good at particular roles, particular genres, particular niches. But Bill seems to be successful and thrive in whatever genre, whatever role you put him in. So as a lead in an action film, and an action film that is unhinged, I was like, yes, absolutely. And I mean, let's just get right down. Let's just get right down the weaves of this. Bill kicks ass. Okay. He stars as the character Boy, who's on a revenge story after his family was murdered by Hilda. That's all you need to know. He gets older, he trains a lot, he's going to get revenge for his family. That's it. I don't know if there's anything else that you need to know about the plot. That the beginning to the end, that is his goal. Now, one thing I will say in terms of this is that there is a video game, Super Dragon Punch Force 3, that is going to be releasing with the release of this film on April 26th. It's in beta right now. It is a free-to-play 2D, 2.5D fighting game, which is basically a real sequel inspired by the fictitious 2D fighting game franchise depicted in the movie. So when you see all the animation and stuff that's happening in there and these characters and whatnot, especially at the end of the film, understand that there's a game that takes that beyond it. So I love the marketing here. I think if I was the person that was like trying to put together a film and I was getting all my friends together, I think this would be something and an approach we would want to take to say like, well, how else can we be involved? Like if you're making a film, can I do the game? Like, can I do something else as a companion piece to it? And that's really cool. The animation in the game is fantastic. That same animation is, the animation in the film is in the game. I haven't played the game. I know people that's played the beta. The beta is available, but I'm here to say, because you can also look at the gameplay trailer as well too. It's a 1-for-1. So that type of animation, I think like when I think about that animation, it's kind of like the new Double Dragon sort of animation. Like if you've seen that, then it's sort of around that, or you can almost go not quite Unreal, but like sort of in the same engine as like Dragon Ball Fighter Z and like Guilty Gear. So I need to play it. I need to see what the mechanics to talk about. But first, let's talk about the movie. We'll get back to the game at some other point. The other thing is that with everything that's happening, you know, Boy is basically antagonized by his ghost sister. His ghost sister is the one that's kind of motivating him to go out there and get the revenge. But at the end of the day, you know, he has a mentor. His mentor is helping him build and strengthen his craft. And he basically is a one-man wrecking crew. He calls himself the Weapon. And indeed he is. Bill is just lights out in this film. I can't stress enough, for somebody of his stature, he comes in here and he puts on a clinic when it comes down to the fight choreography and the stunts, which I have to say, the fight choreography, the stunts crew, everybody that's involved, oh, they got their check. There's some amazing scenes here. There's some very amazing scenes here. There's a particular fight that I have to say is like amongst one of the best I've seen. Some other folks I need to give shout outs to is Ruhian, who plays Shaman, who is his trainer or his mentor. He puts on a clinic this entire film. Jessica Rothe as June 27 comes in, especially in the third act. Oh my goodness. It's brutal. It's bloody. It's gory. There's a lot that happens. I don't know how else to put this. This film is off the rails, you know, and with that too, like, I think, you know, another shout out I would do is Daywin, who plays VDK, Dave. There's a particular fight between the two of them. Let's just say there's a particular villain with some glasses that keeps coming back. It is amazing here. It is amazing. And then there's narration on top of everything, because Bill has no lines because he loses his tongue. And with him losing his tongue and his ear, he's deaf. So he uses mannerisms, not so much sign, but mannerisms to convey his message. He can obviously make vocal noises, but without a tongue, he's not able to enunciate things, and not having ears, which is he can't hear. But this narration throughout the entire film, this narration is very cinematic in the sense of like almost how trailers are narrated, you know, giving you that extra bit of spice to make everything elevated. And that is very entertaining. I enjoyed the narration the entire time of the film. So up and down, Boy Kills World. Listen, this film did premiere at TIFF. A lot of folks were talking about it then. But now that it's getting this release, and I know some other folks that have checked it out, everybody's been pretty high on this film. And I got to say, I enjoyed this one. This is definitely a film you want to see in theaters. And for all you folks who just loves a brutal bloodbath of fight action, amazing stunts of choreography, this is it. And Bill as your lead, who towers over most of the people he fights, he puts on a clinic with his fighting performance alone. And, you know, with him being Pennywise, I forgot how I mentioned about that. He was in Barbarian as well. So, you know, there's some, you know, there is a little bit of a reconnect on that note with the producer here. And then ultimately his role in Eternals. Like, again, this guy has really been, you know, hitting all the genres here. I want to see him in more action films. I want to see him hand-to-hand combat with some of the other greats, the Frank Grillos of the world, people like that. I want to see what he can do, because this was great. I want to see a sequel, you know, with the game, and I'm sure they're waiting to see the success of what this does. I really want to see this succeed, because I want more of it. And again, this wasn't a film that I overly loved. I liked it a lot. I loved the film. I liked it a lot. It's like an A, but by all means, I'm so high on the film, I'm already looking forward to seeing what's next. You know, this is like the film where you're just like, holy hell, I wasn't expecting it to be that good, but wow, it was. Okay, give me more now. Like give me more. Give me the sequel. Let's double down on everything and let's see where we can go. And they definitely got some things, I would say, that they can build upon with this. And you want to stay through the credits, man, because through the credits will absolutely get you that extra bit of oomph that you may that may convince you that they could do something more. So, like, yeah, listen, great animation on that note. The third act is completely insane. It's where everybody collects their check, and just be ready for just a complete bloody, brutal bloodbath of hand-to-hand combat. There's weaponry all over the place. And when I say weaponry, like, yeah, bullets are flying, but there's knives, there's axes, There's limbs that will be chopped. There's a lot that's going to happen. All of that in Boy Kills World. Jump in the comments, folks. Let me know your thoughts about this from your excitement and all that other good stuff. And as always, stay tuned for more reviews very soon.